he feels he's ready to burst onto the scene. Howard Eastman has been among the best 160-pounders for many years. Only one of them will move on. And Miranda has prepared himself for this moment by training in Puerto Rico. In fact, he says the people of the Caribbean island opened their hearts to him so much that he's going to split his time between there and South Florida from here on out. And while he found that love in Puerto Rico, it was the heartbreak and hardship in his native Colombia that shaped Edison into the man he's become. Here's his story as told through interpreter Jose Diaz.
My name is Edison Miranda. I'm 25-0 with 22 knockouts. But that's not the most impressive thing about me. I was born in Buenaventura, Colombia. At the age of 2 months old, my mom gave me away to some relative up in the mountains. They used to mistreat me. They used to beat me every day. My family just wanted me to work, and I just want to be a kid. At the age of 9, I decided that I was not going to take any more beatings. I met my mother when I was 9, but she already remarried and she had some other children. My stepdad and I, we just did not get along. I already had my ways through the street. So I decided to go back out and keep my way around. I used to pray every night for God to help me to find a way out of my life. I needed to get better. And one night I was praying so hard, and in my sleep I saw that I was boxing, but I've never seen a boxing gym. I never saw a glove, I never saw a boxer. But that was my revelation, that was my dream. My friend took me to the gym of the national trainer of Barranquilla, Colombia, Juan Beltran. He talked to me about the commitment the boxing requires and that I couldn't be a drunk or a drug addict. And I told him that I didn't have none of that. I just wanted to be a boxer. I just wanted to train.
He's been fighting in the ring ever since he's been 16 years old, but the truth is he's been fighting his entire life.
When I decided to start boxing, I decided to live behind the gym. I used to sleep on the street just with the mosquitoes and everything. I had no roof. I was just wanted to be closer to the gym, as close as I can, so I could fight every day and I could train. From Colombia, I went to the Dominican Republic. I needed to gain some experience. It was like I started all over again. In Colombia, I was already a famous guy, twice champion. So from Dominican Republic, I went back to Colombia and I met all my friends once and we got it all squared away. Once in Colombia, I had a few friends that connect me back to the United States.
To be able to be on the streets by himself without any family members or adult supervision at the age of 9 and to get to where he is today, it's absolutely miraculous.
My relationship with my mother is really distant. We don't have that love and that bond that mother and son has. I look for her and I call her because it's one of the commandments. You should honor your mother and your father. And because God tells me that I have to do that, I will do it. I love her, but I don't know if she loved me. And I really don't know what she gave me away when I was a child.
Jose Bonilla, his trainer, has been one of the greatest things that's happened to Edison. He's not only taken him under his wings as a top-notch trainer, he's taken him in as a father figure.
It's a privilege for me to work with this guy. He has a tough life, you know. He used this anger in boxing. I think he will clean the division.
Bonilla is a highly committed trainer. He's living with me and we're running and training every day. He actually runs with me. 45 minutes, 50 minutes every day. I feel like he's like my father. We have a great relationship.
He's a true survivor, and I don't think anyone will ever stop him. This kid's special.
The most impressive thing about me is my life, where I came from and where I'm at today.
Edison Miranda now in the ring. Pantera, say, fights like a panther, 25 years old. Both fighters came in at 159 pounds and are 6 foot tall. Edison's last 5 fights include his 4 fights since moving to the United States. Awkward journeyman Sam Reese, that was the first fighter that went the distance with Edison. And he's coming off of knockout of Sherwin Davis. That was a 3rd rounder back in October. Howard Eastman, he represents a very big step up for Miranda. He's originally from Guyana, then he moved to London. Trained in Guyana for this fight, 35 years old, 10 years older than Miranda, but he has not taken a lot of punishment, and he feels very much fresh. There's his last 5. You can see he's coming off of 2 straight losses, but they were high-class losses. Dropped a harmless decision to then undisputed champ Bernard Hopkins, and last July he lost a 12-rounder to the unbeaten IBF champ Arthur Abraham. So it's a very good matchup that Teddy Atlas is ready to set the fight plan for.
For Eastman to win tonight, he doesn't have TNT in his hands. He knows he has to box. He knows he has to be on the outside, make Miranda work his way in. But there's something very interesting to look for. Miranda telegraphs something. First of all, he throws 2 kinds of jabs. The traditional one right from there, from the shoulder height. But the other one that's not traditional, from the hip. Now, the problem with that is that punch has no use until it gets to a certain height. So, Eastman, if he's on his P's and Q's, he knows he doesn't have to worry about this hand until it gets to here. So what he can do is just move to his right, bang, 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 and bombard right hands. Go right hand crazy if you're Eastman tonight. For Miranda to win tonight, he's the bigger, stronger guy. He likes to be aggressive. He's going to want to get close to Eastman, take his height away. Now, Eastman's going to help him a little bit, even though he doesn't mean to, because he paused with his jab sometimes. Now, if you throw a full jab, of course, it keeps you at a certain distance. But when you pull with a jab, the opponent, in this case, of course, Miranda, can get close. And then he can time right hands over it. So if there's a pulling jab coming from Eastman, look for Miranda to inch his way into the doorstep and be able to shoot right hands right over that slow jab and use his strength, use his power, stay undefeated.
So the right hand's the key, according to Teddy, for both men here, between Eastman and Miranda. Edison Miranda, a quick starter in his career, 16 first-round knockouts. Howard Eastman, 2-time world title challenger, took on William Joppy and scored a knockdown in the final round of that loss. And then, of course, in a really lackluster fight against Bernard Hopkins, Hopkins retained his undisputed title. Brian Gary's the referee.
I'll be in charge of this IBF eliminator bout at all times. I give you command to break, you break cleanly. Score a knockdown, go to the neutral corner, do not come out till I signal. Protect yourself at all times, no rabbit punches, low blows. Good luck, touch them up, and come out fighting at the bell.
The ring experience, really no comparing the ring experience. Howard Eastman has fought the higher level of fights for the longer period of time. You talk about the higher level of fights, look down at that last column. Championship rounds. Eastman has fought 36 of them. Miranda is fighting tonight for the chance to fight 12 of them. This is an IBF title eliminator. Now, interestingly enough, in terms of experience, you could compare life experience to Edison Miranda with Howard Eastman, because you know the story about Miranda being abandoned as a child. Eastman was kicked out of his home as a teenager. He was homeless on the streets of London for 2 years fighting for his survival.
From the age of 16 to 18. Talking about experiences, you said Eastman has fought 4 world champions. As you chronicled, has fought for the world middleweight title 2 times. Lost 2 decision, 1 very close, a majority.
First round knockout numbers, Miranda 16 first round knockouts. We are not expecting that at all tonight. Most of those first round knockouts took place in Colombia and the Dominican Republic against very limited competition. When he was fighting in the Dominican Republic, this was a young man who was fighting simply to have food and shelter. He wasn't even making hardly $1. Now he's come to the United States. He's had 3 fights that have gone the distance. Then he just scored another knockout back in October.
Well, if a knockout's coming from Miranda, he has to get a lot closer than he is right now to Eastman. And Eastman doesn't want a knockout. He wants a decision. He's not the puncher. So he wants to do what he's doing. Keep range, keep distance, keep separation between him and the strong Miranda.
Eastman trying to find a way to cut down that ring, but you can see Eastman up on his toes, circling round and round.
When you have experience like Eastman, you don't care if the crowd starts booing. You just want to get the landscape. You want to get the feel. You just want to get the fight the way you need to get it. And right now, Eastman thinks by moving, staying outside, maybe that'll frustrate Miranda. Set him up later to start reaching in a little bit, get over anxious. Maybe to start to do the things that Eastman needs it to do as the rounds go on.
How about the live punch track showing Howard Eastman 0 for 5?
He doesn't care about winning his first round. Eastman, I think, is trying to set up things down the road in this fight. Start to get a feel for distance. Maybe frustrate the younger, the 25-year-old Miranda, who's never stepped up to the point that he's stepping up tonight with Eastman. Look for Eastman to start to settle down with his feet and control range the more traditional way after this round. Right now, I think it's a ploy. I think he's just trying to get a feel. I think he's trying to get range. And I try to maybe get Miranda to start to think, gee, I'm going to have to get reckless here. I'm going to have to take chances. And then Eastman can get opportunities. You can see Eastman starting to settle down already.
Tries to throw in a left hand there as Miranda came forward.
Eastman has to control range with that long reach that he has. Miranda has to get close.
End of round number 1. Robert McCracken finishing up his instructions to his fighter Howard Eastman. Robert McCracken fought Howard Eastman back in 2001. Eastman scored a TKO in 10. Now he trains him. Very interesting in preparing for this bout. Eastman was not in London with McCracken. He went back to his native Guyana and he trained there, and then he met up with McCracken here in South Florida just about 6 days ago just to finish things up and prepare for this 12th rounder and IBF title eliminator. Teddy, I can only imagine what you would say to a fighter who says, hey, I'm fine, I'll be in another continent, I'll meet you about 5 days before the fight.
Yeah, okay. You know, if I was right about it being a ploy that first round, which I have a feeling I was, with Eastman moving around, almost helicoptering around the ring, trying to frustrate Miranda, that's proof that Eastman is using the experience and being a smart man, trying to set some stage, some traps, some kind of landscape for Miranda to get over anxious. And just look at the record of Eastman. You know, you have to be a smart fighter. 43 fights, including 2 world title tries, and never been stopped. You have to be clever in that ring. And he's going to bring cleverness tonight to try to give the first loss to Miranda, who physically is stronger.
Only 3 losses in the career of Howard Eastman. He's wearing the yellow trunks. Lost to William Joppy when Joppy was the WBA titleist back in 2001. Lost a majority decision. Floored Joppy in the 12th round. Then he lost a 12-round, really nondescript fight against Bernard Hopkins. And then this past July, he lost the decision against Arthur Abraham, the undefeated, very strong German-based middleweight titleist, who a lot of people think the world of.
Just looking at the physical attributes of Eastman, you can understand how he will fight and should fight. He's tall, he's lean, he's got a long wingspan. He wants to control that range with that jab on the outside. Set up punches off that jab. If Miranda lays back, and if Miranda starts to bite, starts to get frustrated, starts to close ground from too far away, then Eastman wants to keep the distance where he can stay separated and land some counters. But from the experience I've had with Eastman, watching some of his tape, he will give Miranda opportunities to get close. Eastman's not afraid in spots, even if it doesn't always serve him, because it serves him with his physical stature to stay outside. Eastman not afraid once in a while to press the issue a little bit and give up his height. As you can see right there, Joe, Eastman showing that experience and that smart. He got in close with the stronger Miranda, and he became an octopus. He tied him up.
The experience edge could be a very big factor in this 12-rounder. Coming to the end of round number 2, Eastman trying to rally before it.
I was talking in the tips about the 2 jabs of Miranda's. There's the conventional one from up top. Now look, he drops down around his hip, then he has to bring it up. He telegraphs it. That's the one that you gotta look for Eastman to maybe pick up on and start to take advantage with some offense on the right side.
Pace is picked up here early on. We're in round number 3, 12-round IBF eliminator. The punches in round 2. Eastman was 16 out of 66. Much better compared to a first round that he barely took part in. And now he charges forward with a lead left hand. And you can see he's picked up the pace.
You know, Eastman gives you a lot of problems physically, where he stays at a distance. He's got that long wingspan. When he gets close, he does that. He becomes an octopus. He grabs, he ties you up. But as I said earlier, Eastman will cooperate a little bit with the shorter Miranda. He'll give up his height. And he does have a temperament of a fighter. He'll come in, he'll press the issue in spots. Miranda has to be prepared to take advantage of those opportunities. There may not be that many of them. In other words, he's got to pull the trigger when Eastman gets into his territory. It's going to be a frustrating night for Miranda, a testing night for Miranda, who's stepping up the highest he's been so far in his career. Let's not forget, Joe, the first 21 fights for Miranda, all knockouts, but all in his native Colombia, Dominican Republic, and Panama. First time he went to distance was his first fight in the United States with a real opponent.
Comes in with a left hand there that lands flush against Howard Eastman.
You know, before that fight in the United States, 12 of his opponents had never won a fight. So right now, Miranda getting close, a low blow there.
Looks like it was right on the Grant and the belt. So he gets the warning from referee Brian Gary, but the best offensive spurt so far from Edison Miranda. It started off with a left hand, and then he tried to chase Howard Eastman down, but the veteran, of course, well equipped to handle the situation.
Again, the history of Miranda. Before that first fight in the United States, 12 of his opponents had never won a fight. The total records of his opponents before he came to the United States for Miranda: 42 wins, 97 losses, 1 draw. He's in with a real good opponent tonight. A huge step up in class with Eastman. Miranda right now, Joe, would be well served to change maybe the aim of his punches from the head, which he's missing right there with the cute, slick Eastman, to downstairs to the body where he can cover some ground, where he can catch Eastman, slow Eastman down, have some hope.
Looking like a much better fight, though. Well, we told you so much about the horrific childhood of Edison Miranda, but how about his little lighter side in the Fighter Focus? Those around him say, hey, he's a funny guy. We asked him, what's your favorite TV show? You moved to America. What do you like watching on TV? His answer, Woody Woodpecker. You're not going to see that in another Fighter Focus for a long time. Howard Eastman, a closer look at the 35-year-old from London, originally from Guyana, former British Commonwealth champion. And just like the hardships Miranda faced, Eastman can relate. He was kicked out of his home as a troubled teen. He was on the streets of London, fending for himself. So both guys with a real tough backgrounds that helped shape the way they became men. And now success here in their pro careers. One of them trying to step forward and get a title shot with a win here tonight in this 12-rounder. And here comes Miranda now.
Well, actually, there came Eastman coming in, giving up his height to allow Miranda now to have what he wants, the landscape, the footing, where he can be close to the taller Eastman and deliver some of that power.
And this is why what we see here with these combinations and the heavy hands, why he has gathered a following here in South Florida, has Edison Miranda, Pantera Miranda, as he likes to be referred to.
Well, unlike Wilson in our first fight, who has power, Miranda brings more to the table. He's moving his head. He shows an advancement in some of those techniques, and also he puts punches together. He doesn't depend on one shot. He keeps his punch rate up. It makes him more than a one-blow wonder. It gives him much better opportunities to be in fights, much better opportunities to beat class fighters like he's facing tonight in Howard Eastman. You're not going to throw one punch at a time. I don't care how you punch if you knock walls down and beat an experienced, cute guy like Eastman. You must bring more to the table than that. Miranda is trying to do that. Miranda getting some help here, Joe. And what I mean by that, Eastman, and we talked on it very early, for all his awkwardness, for all his experience, for all his length and his size and his height, he'll give it up. And he'll come in close and fight small. And that's just what the doctor ordered if you're in the corner of Miranda. Eastman is best served, I believe, to stay on the outside, use that jab on the front end, set punches up off that, and try to set traps by keeping distance, changing the distance on the outside, get Miranda to reach a little bit, and counter off those reaches.
Short chopping right hand.
with your backer. That's what you want to see. I know the referee might not want to see that, but you want Miranda to keep free on the inside, not get tied up.
Get up and take Miranda.
This is all good news. Even though Miranda's missing, he's in close quarters. That means he's close. That means he's where he needs to be to have a chance in this fight.
Much more fan-friendly fight. Edison Miranda, 25-0, taking on British-based former titleist Howard Eastman. And speaking of big Brits, we are now joined ringside by the former Olympic gold medalist, the 6'6" heavyweight, Audley Harrison. Now 19-1, coming off of your first career loss, but you're going to be fighting Dominic Gwynn on ESPN on April 14th. I know a lot of people will say what they want about you and Dominic Gwynn and some of the recent struggles you've had. That's a good heavyweight fight, a crossroads fight. What do you make of that fight?
Yeah, definitely. You know, Dominic Gwynn, he's lost a bit of his luster recently with his losses. Obviously, me coming off a loss, I wanted to come straight back in there and show that I'm serious. You know, Dominic Gwynn's definitely a tough guy. He's an experienced guy. And it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a fight where it's going to be hard for people to call it, but definitely I'm training hard. I'm giving it all I've got. And, you know, I definitely still want to make my mark in the heavyweight division.
Audley, you know, there was a lot of hope for you. You're a big heavyweight, a natural heavyweight, good talent, Olympic gold medalist from the 2000 games, and the southpaw on top of it. What happened in your disappointing loss to Danny Williams?
Well, basically, I just don't think I showed up. I had one of them nights where emotionally and mentally, I wasn't there at the night. Taking nothing away from Danny Williams, he got the victory, but definitely he didn't beat the better guy on the night. And you know, I just want a chance to rectify that performance. And I think taking on Dominic Gwynn straight away as my next fight gives me a great opportunity to rectify that on ESPN, so everyone can get to see. And I'm definitely looking to come back strong from that.
Round number 5 here between Audley's countryman Howard Eastman in the gold trunks, taking on the unbeaten power puncher Edison Miranda. It's turned into a very interesting fight after a very slow start. The experience of Eastman and the youthful aggression of Edison Miranda. Audley, what do you make of this fight so far? What does your boxing eye see?
Fight's it's very intriguing. It's well poised at the moment. Miranda's tough and strong. Eastman's using his experience. I mean, he's getting caught by some good shots, but Eastman's got a good chin. And I think he can start turning it on a bit later on in the rounds. But Miranda's definitely a tough, strong opponent coming forward, and Eastman's going to have to be careful, keep his hands up. Work that jab and look to throw those right hands over the top.
Audley, would you like to see Eastman? I mean, look at that size he has. Look at that wingspan. The other guy's only chance is to get close because he's physically the stronger guy. Would you like to see Eastman stay on the outside, not give up his height as much as he does?
Yeah, I think, you know, Eastman's way is to do that sometimes, to get involved. You know, Eastman's not afraid to mix it up and get involved. And if you look at some of his past performances, he's been able to break opponents down. But this guy looks like he's going to stay around. So maybe, you know, that's not the right tactic for this fight. He should be boxing more.
Now, I wouldn't be giving help to a strong young guy like Miranda, who needs you close to be able to be effective.
Yeah.
And Eastman's giving him a little bit of help by coming in and giving up that height.
Definitely. Unless Miranda's going to break down later on, Eastman's probably fighting his fight more than fighting his own fight.
Always nice to visit with the Olympic gold medalist from 2000, Audley Harrison, now 19-1 as a pro heavyweight. Audley, we've been together before. We've discussed what the critics have to say about you. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you the effect that it has on you here in our country. I know Steve Kim from MaxBoxing.com goes so far as to only refer to you as Fraudly. Does that hurt just a little, or you got the thick skin built up?
No, definitely. It's the game that we're in. It's the nature of the beast.
There's the right hand. There's the big right hand. There's the beast right there. Audley, thank you very much for your time.
There's the right hand we were talking about.
Jumping all over.
Well, with that pouring jab, not that full extended jab of Eastman's, it allowed the door to be open for Miranda to sneak in and land not one right hand, but 2 or 3.
Edison Miranda, the power puncher. Howard Eastman has never been taken out.
It's great to have a long jab like Eastman has, but it's detrimental when you just pour with it. He just paid a price.
Teddy, you called that in the fight plan, and it came to fruition. What a big finish for Edison Miranda in round number 5. Ollie Harrison, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you against Dominic Gwynn on April 14th. Wow, what action. Eastman, slow to get on the stool. Let's listen to what they're saying in his corner.
Okay, listen, trust me, you're waiting for him to throw. If you throw first, he can't catch you. He's looking for that right hook all the time. Move away from the right hand and work off your right hand and left hook, all right? Just use your brain now. Move away from his right hand and throw your right hand and left hook, all right? You feel okay? Yeah.
Here's a look at Edison Miranda's power coming to the surface in round number 5, Teddy.
Now look at why. Because you can see that the left hand is extended, is left out there by Eastman, and he allows, again, the left hand drop, the left hand extended, and Miranda is allowed to get into punching distance. He's allowed to get close. Once again, the left hand down by Eastman. Miranda allowed to walk in that door and get close enough to land the right hand. And to the credit of Miranda, not one right hand, he doubles it up. If you can hit the guy with 2, why hit him with 1? Miranda went for 2.
Edison Miranda, 22 knockouts among his perfect 25-0 record of 49-46 on Teddy Atlas's scorecard. Big 5th round there.
No punch. Break.
The experience of Eastman. He's gone deep, fights past 6 rounds 22 times. He's fought for the world title twice. Now a challenge here from the young, hungry, aggressive, hot prospect.
Again, that's that point jab that's going to get Eastman in more hot water than he's already been in if he continues to pour with that jab. You have height like that, as Eastman does, you need to stick that jab. Snap that jab out. Keep your opponent at bay. Keep at the end of it. When you start to pour with the jab, Joe, as Eastman does, and you see him again in a moment, it's not a full jab, it's a 3/4 jab. And you allow the opponent to inch his way close, dangerously close if he's a puncher with the right hand, like Miranda is. See, there's the full jab from Eastman. But watch, you're going to see moments there. Right now, he's on his bike because he tasted that power.
Second time. Come on, man.
Another warning for a low blow. That seemed to be on the belt line, and obviously Eastman's taking full advantage. Hey, protect yourself at all times. He turned his back. If it wasn't for Brian Gary charging in, Miranda would have taken a swing at him.
Good job by Brian Gary being alert there.
Brian Gary, fine referee, just had successful surgery.
Right hand just
Right
hurt.
hand short,
Just
sweep from
hurt.
Eastman.
We talked about the right hands and the tips. Both right hands would come into play. So far, both fighters have tasted the other's right hand. Miranda was hurt with that right hand.
Interesting turn here.
Now, Eastman not known as a puncher, but Eastman a much higher class of fighter than Miranda has ever fought before.
How about the left hook from Miranda? Now here's Miranda on the attack.
There will be opportunities again for that right hand of Eastman.
Look at that left hand holding behind the head there, Teddy. Something we've seen from Edison
And the
Miranda
referee
before.
does a good job of jumping right on that.
Well, when we had him in his first fight in the United States against the journeyman Sam Reese, he was deducted a point for holding behind the head while hitting with the right hand. So we'll keep an eye on that. He's been warned here tonight
There's that
against
low,
Howard Eastman.
there's that low left hand of Miranda. He's been hurt again. End of the last round, we talked about right hands. Well, watch the right hand of Eastman. It shakes up Miranda. The left hand is low of Miranda. He leaves his spot, and the experienced Eastman filled that spot, and on my scorecard, grabbed that round, hurting Miranda twice.
Friday Night Fights presented by Just for Men Hair Color here, and what a main event we have. A title eliminator, Edison Miranda in the blue, Howard Eastman in the gold. Miranda landed a big right hand in the 5th, but then you saw he was wobbled and hurt there at the end of the 6th. 58-56, Miranda, the unbeaten prospect, ahead on Teddy Atlas's scorecard.
You know,
There's Miranda again.
both men's right hands playing playing a big part of their strategies, and both men's left hands are the reason for it. Because they're both leaving doors open by dropping their left hands in different manners. Eastman, he throws a pouring left hand. There it is again. Doesn't throw a full left hand. He pours with it. It's a 3/4 punch. It allows Miranda to get close to time right hands open. And on the other side of the ledger, well, Miranda, he throws that flicking jab. He's not doing it right now, but he did it at the end of the last round, Joe. There it is. Now he got it up in a conventional stance again. But Miranda throws 2 jabs. One from up where the shoulder is, the conventional jab. The other is that flicking jab from the hip. When he does that, he leaves an opportunity for the right hand to crash home, as it did in the last round from Eastman. Just watch Miranda when he gets separated here, and he drops that left hand to the hip. There it is. It's down low again, that left hand. Right now, when that left hand of Miranda's is low, it gives Eastman, which he's not taking advantage right now, gives him an opportunity to step to his right and load up.
Just pure aggression now from Edison Miranda. The veteran covering up. Maybe looking for that opportunity to time a right hand on his own, but there's an uppercut by Miranda, and Miranda scored with a left hand, almost chopped down with a right hand, and holds behind the head yet again.
Frustrated, Joe, because he's not landing clean. I don't believe he's going where he should go. Downstairs to the body. Take that head movement away from Eastman. There's the right hand.
There's the right hand. Miranda all over him now.
Oh, Eastman's in bad shape.
That's it. Holy cow. He jumped on him quick. Howard Eastman has never been stopped.
43
Miranda did it.
43 fights. Eastman had never been stopped. And he gets stopped by the Colombian tonight, Miranda. And he gets stopped with the right hand because he kept that left hand low and left an opening that the undefeated Miranda crashed right through.
Wow. He decided to turn on the offense, and he just never stopped in the 7th round. So much so where Brian Gary, the referee, stepped in and just gave Edison Miranda the TKO win he so deservingly earned. What a celebration. Eastman can't believe it. First KO loss of his career. He's in disbelief.
Eastman, when we get a chance to look at the replay, he was hurt badly. And if Miranda was allowed to continue, you would only think that he would continue to land punches on Eastman, who was really in bad shape. But I must say that Eastman recovered quickly right after the referee got in there. Let's take a look at the replay right now.
7th round action.
Now the left hand's down. You know, you can have a right hand, but there has to be a home for it. And the home was created by Eastman keeping that left hand down. Now, right now, you can see the frustration of Miranda. He's grabbing. He's missing a lot of headshots. He's pulling, as you said, Eastwood down, fouling a little bit maybe, trying to hold him and hit him. But now he's using that jab to set up a right hand. Eastman gives up his height, falls in. He's a little off balance, and right there is the right hand as the left hand is low, and a good left uppercut, and then followed by another right hand.
Here's another look. Boy, that right hand was big, and so was the finishing uppercut.
Well, right here you can see Miranda a little frustrated, but to his credit, even though he grabbed behind the head and he tried to pull him down, he kept punching. Unlike some big punches, he didn't throw one at a time. He kept them going. Now, right there, you can see Eastman had been hurt. And then right away, Miranda knew what to do. Jump on him with that right hand, a left uppercut, another right hand. Right there, Eastman is hurt, but he's recovering almost as the referee is stopping it. But the referee did not want to take a chance with a power puncher like Miranda and a guy like Eastman, who gives a lot of target being tall, who looked like he was really in another place.
Here is the Just for Men hair color punch track to this point in the fight before the stoppage. And you can see Miranda went to the head extremely well, 102 out of 382. Very impressive. And the celebration in the ring afterwards. If you're not familiar with the story of Edison Miranda, this is a young man whose 14-year-old mother in the poor, economically depressed southern coast of Colombia gave him up as a baby. He was mentally and physically abused. Horrors, he left that home as a 9-year-old. He was on the streets until he was 16, eating roadkill, finding odd jobs, doing whatever it took to survive. And now he gets the win of his career. Let's send it up to the ring to Bob Alexander.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, referee Brian Gary stops this bout at 2 minutes, 33 seconds of round number 7. Your winner by TKO, Edison Pantera Miranda.
The Panther prowls tonight. Pantera Miranda, 26-0, 23rd knockout, the first time Howard Eastman has ever been stopped. The little boy who was abandoned as an innocent child has found a home among the best middleweights in the world. Joined by Edison Miranda and his interpreter, Jose Diaz. Please ask him what he's feeling right now after the life he's had to come up with that win.
Edison, ¿cómo te sientes después de una vida tan dura que tú has tenido hoy?
Pues la verdad que luchar contra los peleadores arriba del ring no es lo duro para mí. Ha sido las cosas que he pasado atrás en mi niñez. Eso es lo que me motiva a hacer todo esto. Howard Eastman, un gran peleador, me puso mal en un round, pero Edison Miranda lo que más tiene es corazón y gana de triunfar.
Yeah, going out to the ring, it's really not the most difficult thing that I've ever done in my life. Growing up in my whole lifetime, it was real difficult. And I went up to the ring. I know that Howard Eastman was a great fighter. He put me bad in one of the rounds.